Alright, everybody, welcome to the Awkward Kingdom, Season 3, Episode 11. You might notice it's been about 200 straight days since the last episode and this one. I've been a bit busy. Sorry, I got a little carried away. Plus, we had a bit of a medical scare at my house, so I haven't been able to record until just now. So, yeah, things happen. Lots of grinding, lots of hemming and hawing, and where should this go? What should I change that to? Yeah, I've made some alterations. It looks just a bit different. Currently, there's only a handful of visible changes from here. Namely, there's staircases going up each of those little ways. Get out of my way, cow. We've got stairways that go all the way up that are not finished. I haven't decided if I'm going to finish those or if I'm going to level it off to a lower plateau at some point and make another platform. Okay, you had your chance. But you might notice that there is a much nicer entryway that is not one wide. I've also wrapped these little stairways around to a certain extent. I haven't made them go all the way to the ground, but I do have them going down to a taper where it meets, and then it goes back upwards, so you can kind of get a visual of what's in each of these little enclosed segments. I like that. And let's actually go down for a tour. Immediately, you'll notice we have a very nice archway here. Not entirely sure if I'm going to make any other adjustments to it currently, but I'm waiting on some new blocks. So, we have a 3-wide pathway, and courtesy of our last episode, we have some prismarine that I duped up and used to build all the way around in here. I also took the extra step and replaced all of the interior with mud bricks and polished tuff just to give it a little bit of texture. I haven't done these, as you can tell, they're still cobblestone. I don't know if I want to expand them outwards like I did the other sides, or just kind of leave them be. We'll just have to wait and see what I decide to do. I've also added in a full wrap all the way around the main roofing. Although you might notice it's showing a lot of light through because they are slabs. There are central areas that are on top of it blocking out light, but then the wraparound is just letting all the light through. I'm not going to complain because it's a lot of extra light that I needed in this area. But honestly, I'm very proud of how the border of this underside carrying the ceiling actually came out. It all seems to be one material, yes, but if you look a little closer, it's got some texture to it. I've also got these little lights going in to show you that you're in a cardinal direction, and that is where the exit is. If we go in here, I've also finally added in the layers right here on this side. Now, you might think that these are the same. Also, I have some animals. But it's not. Yeah. I have 2 dogs that I was able to fetch, no pun intended, from a path between Spawn and Time Runner's house, which we will eventually have to dig a portal pathway all the way to through the nether. And I have 1 cat. I have not been able to get a second cat to spawn no matter what I do. Maybe it's because I robbed the village of a couple of their residents. Yeah, I saved Mr. Mending. He is the first mending trader on this world, and I wanted to keep him safe, so he now lives here. I also grabbed 1 other villager for the event that we decide to make a trading hall, and I potentially can breed them. I'm not sure how well that's going to go at the moment. Down here looks a bit different, courtesy of the last week. I've decided to move all of the wood types up top. So we have a couple of things left over here I can do. I still need bamboo, although I was able to get some jungle from one of the traders. So we have a jungle tree up top. Bamboo's pretty much the only thing I can think of that I need. because I have both the nether woods, pale and dark, and then regular oak, birch, spruce, cherry, and mangrove as well. And then I have some miscellaneous necessities. I'm going to probably put rockets up in this one once I get to doing those. But as you can see, I do still have a backlog of items that need to get gone through and sorted. And then I have a bunch of the wool that I need to go ahead and do. I've also been sorting out all of these areas down below. I'm going to use these for the 4 different types of lanterns now. We haven't gone to an ancient city, so I don't have any of the blue lanterns. I also haven't crafted up any of the copper torches yet, so that'll be interesting. But speaking of copper, I do have a segment right in the middle sorting for waxed variants, as well as the one over there for the standard copper blocks. I think this gives it more of a museum-esque vibe, where you're just kind of going through, seeing what's in there, and going, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's nice." You can collect whatever you need, and because these don't have any real variants to them, I'm not worried about adding, barrels underneath like I have all of these, because all of these could just be converted into regular ores and then crafted up into blocks. So if it has a broken down bit or the ability to craft it up into a block, then I'm going to have a barrel underneath it. This one, thankfully, does not have a broken down bit. I also have moved all of the stone variants down here. I don't have all of them. Not sure what other ones I'm missing besides the deep slate ones. I need polished and cobbled deep slate, which I will be putting in those spots. These ones, however, do have broken down pieces. So even though they're standard and polished of the 4 regular stone types, they have stairs and so forth that I've been using. So I will be sorting them as well. This is not necessarily permanent, but we did manage to find a trial chamber underneath spawn, which is why we have these. We didn't fully go through it, but we did snag one and dupe up a bunch of breeze rods. So if and when we unlock the right trial vault, we will be able to have a mace. Time Runner's more excited for that than I am, but a mace is fine. This is the nether level. Everything that does not have a cuttable variant of it is going to be in the middle. I think I might move these over a block and then have the bricks form of this right here, because that for some reason can't be cut into stairs or slabs, even though I think it would look amazing. But so far I'm happy with the regular quartz slabs and stairs. Then of course we have the animals that are down here. I have connected these 2 sides here and started moving all of our food variants like fish and such, cooked variants over there. I haven't really been keeping up with our farmland, unfortunately, but here's our veggies. And I might have to start getting those rockets going, to be honest. But this side has been keeping me very busy. I've been sorting up all of the wool types, and I'm trying to keep the same arc color scheme, where it goes from the black all the way to white, and then down to the cyan, through the greens, blues, reds, down to purple, and I'm trying to keep that same rotation on all of these segments, so it's easy to find out what you need. So anything that is glass or wool related or has a carpet variant is going to be in here. Technically, this is related to glass because it has those, which leads into the fancy glass, the tinted stuff. Kind of wish they had tinted glass panes, but I can understand why they don't. So, above that, I have all of the concretes, which have at least 1 row of duped up blocks or powders in each one. Eventually, we'll craft up whatever we need or dupe up whatever we need. But essentially, this is what's been keeping me occupied when I haven't had family stuff keeping me away from Minecraft. These ones do not have cuttables. I think they probably should, but the design elements would be a menace on programming, so I can understand why they do not. The regular ones, not so much, because they're literally just a colored block. They could just be a colored slab or stair, but I digress. I've got regular terracotta and the brick stuff. I'm going to be putting something in this one, and one of these two is going to have pots. I forget which is going to have what, but that's what I've got so far. And then above that, I have the miscellaneous stuff that I've been sorting through, including what we got from our trip in the last episode, the ices, and I swear I cannot for the life of me find a better position than right here in this build for ice. I've tried putting it in the middle, but obviously I have the light too close and it melts it down, and then it becomes not an ice block, so it's not actually displayable. It's just a puddle of water. But I do have the ice variants as well. I also was able to get a couple of mushrooms done up, so we have the two types there, and then the regular mushroom stem hidden in the middle, and just kind of a nuisance corner because this is the one that leads up to the top. But what I also want to show you guys is what I've been working on this side. I've kind of changed up the way this entrance system is because these two enter from like right at the front and have the pathway onto the platform off the side. This one, it's off the side you go down, and then the platform access is through the back. But these actually connect. They're not individuals like the other side. No. This is going to be for farms and little things that we need to craft up over the course of the season. So I'm not quite sure what's going to go in the 5-high one, but we also have a 9-high. Technically it's 10, but I don't count the ceiling as the block. So we're going to end up on 90, 80, 70, and then 65 for the individual layers. And I'm actually quite proud of how these divided stairwells came out. This took quite a while to get right. And then I had to get basically an entire inventories full of bricks just to fill out all these walls so they didn't look like cobblestone anymore. They kind of look like a metropolitan city area, to be honest. Like something you'd expect as a fire escape outside of a public utility building or something. Not bad. Pretty well lit up, mostly because of the slab system. The light comes through all the different layers of slabs differently. But this is the base layer that will most likely be for any storage systems for the layer above. So if there is a hopper system or minecart system that needs to be in, it'll be for this layer down here. But again, this took most of the week to both organize and get the finer touches because right here and how it lines up in the top is different on this layer versus the layer above. This one's a little wider. I tried to make it look similar but good, regardless of which layer you're on. And then this one just leads up to the top, so it doesn't have anything fancy except for the pathway right here. I think it came out nicely. Let me know in the comments if you would have changed up any of the block palette and what you would have changed it to. I'm kind of curious because I'm not fully set on the bricks. I'm happy with it currently because it kind of gives it more of a modern city vibe. One of the few times that I want an actual like noticeable vibe. The rest of it is just kind of whatever looks cool for the blocks that we've unlocked so far. Because we unlocked a lot of the nether stuff early, and then there's the tuff from mining down into the original safe haven down there. And then everything that I've built with so after that has been progressively like what we've unlocked with story progression for the season. This was completely undone until after that last emission, and I'm happy with how this centerpiece turned out. Unfortunately, though, that light's gonna have to go soon because down under here, I actually have a beacon I need to put in. So I think we can handle going ahead and getting that situated. Let's yeah, we'll do that. Oh right, I forgot. We haven't fought the Wither. So I can't put a beacon in. Drat. Never mind. That's fine. Just know that we have the netherite. And that's ultimately what I'm going to make the beacon out of so it lasts quite a long time and doesn't get blown up by anything. However, since we can't do that, I can show you the staircase from hell. I say that because it goes all the way from 96 right here, spirals down all the way to negative 24. And yes, this is one of those things that you could easily envision being somebody's screensaver. Just casually scrolling and scrolling. Honestly, it might hypnotize you. You might fall asleep before you get to the end. If you don't end up messing up the trajectory and bumping into things. But also, we have a nice little visual area right here into a dripstone cave. Decided to include the glass just so I know exactly what level this was on. And so we can see if there are any mobs nearby. I think that was honestly still part of the lava process from when I put in the build. That doesn't make much sense otherwise. Oh, there is a creeper up there. So things are able to spawn. And then we can continue further down. And even though I tried not to actually explore the thing, we did go in just a little bit because, you know, your innate curiosity, you want to see what's down there. And when we popped through, we set off a breeze spawner. Did pick up some tipped arrows, though. Not sure if I'll ever use arrows of poison. But yeah, we have access to a trial spawner, like right under spawn. It's a pretty large one, too. We just haven't fully gone in. I'm saving that for another episode. But I wanted to show you guys the process that we've gone through in updates, as well as just a general update for me. So my roommate's been going through some medical issues and has been incapacitated for much of the last week. She's finally starting to come back to her normal self, but I don't trust it because the last time we thought she was okay was a couple days ago, and then she went right back into being not herself and not remembering literally anything of what happened. So we're hesitant. I am going to get back into the swing of recording though, so there shouldn't be any more major jumps in days for a little while, at least on this series. But I couldn't not do things. There was a lot of duping that needed to be done to catch everything up, and then the design process of all of this back here, I don't think any of you wanted to watch, because it was just a lot of placing the same block 50 billion times, trying to figure out where it would look better, how it would look better, and then a lot of creative work, honestly, trying to design this. It doesn't look like a lot of work, but installing it was just as much work as designing it. But let's give you a close-up view of the stairwells that are on the top, since I didn't pearl up there. I've also added in these little nature sections in the original exit point. So there's going to be a couple of different flowers. I'm waiting to go to a pink biome to get the pink flowers, and I'm not sure what I'm going to put in that last one, but I was able to get a glowberry from Time Runner, who built his house right over a massive collection of mine shafts. And these are the flowers that I pulled back from last episode. I was able to grab this from spawn. Yeah, we've got some goodies going around here. Also updated these so they look a little bit nicer. And each of these four corners has a double entrance stairwell. Come up here, get a nice vantage point covered up in the pale moss. And if you need to, you can get up onto these trees and mine them down. Because I know these ones tend to grow really tall, so it's a lot harder to get up to them. So in the future, if someone does a world download of this, you can just use these for the spruce, jungle, and nether trees, which honestly would have probably been the smarter option, but I also used one for an entrance and the other in the back corner for mangrove. So I've been very, very busy with this. I'm trying to incorporate every block that we come across. It's just going to take a little bit of finagling to get right. We've got a few potion things going. You might have noticed I have some slow falling potion maxed out, and we've got a couple duped up already, but we're probably going to craft up some more because we're planning on doing some adventures soon if I can get Timer on. Our schedules have not been lining up. But I am quite happy with the way this is turning out. Let me know in the comments if there are any suggestions you have for block palettes. Because this looks a little plain to me, but I think given that it's supposed to be a massive area, the bricks are better than just a flat wall. I could have replaced it with concrete, but concrete doesn't have a stair variant or a slab variant, and this has slabs going all the way up until it meets with stairs. So I wanted to try and keep it the same material as much of the way through as possible. And I like having this little divide between the mud bricks to show that one, this is the entrance, and two, it's holding up the wall. You know, Minecraft doesn't have physics, but if it did, you'd want them to be plausible. Toolsmith for unbreaking 2 and efficiency 2. Not bad. But these guys are safe. There's carpets underneath them, so nothing can spawn in there. There's also torches. I would love to get another cat. That way I can breed them up at some point and just post them up at the entrances. That said, I don't actually have to worry about the entrances. I have them all more or less spawn-proofed. Over here it's either lights or it's walls, stairs. And then in here, I don't have anything in a lot of them, but you can go all the way around the majority of the build. I don't have anything fancy for these yet. I've been considering using a different kind of brick. I don't want to have too much white showing over here, because I already use a bunch of quartz in a lot of the stairwells. So maybe I actually bust out the concrete for these ones. But I also thought maybe I use concrete for the bottoms. So if you look down here, it's just cobble. And I want this to kind of stick out a little bit. So let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions for what block I should use down there. Given that we still have to go to an ancient city, it might be kind of cool to use some skulk. Give it a little bit of a glowing effect. Something to look good in the nighttime, maybe? I don't know. I'm still tinkering in my mind. And as I mentioned, I do have some creative copies of the world, just to do a little test run of certain blocks to see how they look. It's a small enough world file right now that it doesn't take too much to do that as many times as I need to. I will eventually make use of each of these little zones. I'm just not quite sure what I want to do with them yet. I might turn them into a zoo of sorts and include some interesting creatures. Be kind of cool to have one be just axolotls that we collect throughout the season. Yeah, this is more or less just an update episode to keep you guys up to speed. Let you get a little tour of our facilities and what we've been doing. The majority of this update is going to be my work. Time Runners helped out with item collection so I can dupe up a bunch of stuff here and there. But all of the building here, literally everything, has been me. I'm also thinking about updating the mob grinder a little bit because we have a bunch of lights. That way we wouldn't have to worry about spawns happening around. And none of the lights that I put in there would affect the mob spawns because there wouldn't be any light going inside. Just be border lights. And then around that, I might put in some tinted glass. I'm thinking about that. Just something simple. Just a wall, tinted glass. 17 stacks worth. I'm a glutton for punishment, aren't I? I can never do something simple. I mean, I thought this was going to be something simple. And initially, it took like, I don't know, 6 hours to put all of the pieces together because I didn't have enchantments at the time. Rocking iron and copper bits. And each step has gradually gotten a little bit more intensive. And yet we've done absolutely nothing fancy with this mine. Or have we fixed this, honestly? And it has been blown up at least once. As you can see, the stair is broken. I'll figure out something I want to do with this entry island. But as it stands, the first thing you should see is a official welcome to the Awkward Kingdom Season 3 sign. Provided no creepers come over here and blow it up. Looking at you, creepers. Don't blow it up. Don't do it. It's illegal. Okay. Can you tell it's been a while since I've recorded? I feel oddly energized right now just by being on the microphone. It's been a very long week. I do apologize again for the sudden 200-day jump between episodes, if anybody really cares or notices. But I notice. And I feel bad for not including you guys in the process. I've been trying to give updates any episode that I do them. But if I do an adventure type thing, I try and keep you guys included. Which is why we haven't gone to the ancient city, we haven't gone to a stronghold, we haven't gone into the trial chamber down there, and we haven't gone to get resin. I don't know if Time Runner's gotten bamboo. I haven't seen him with any. I know he's got some cactus at his base, which is one thing I don't have here. We'll just have to see what we can get from the trader, I guess, because I haven't found a biome that has cactus. I think that's how we got his. I'm presuming that's how we got his. Anyway, right now, that's all the updates I have for you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Do leave a like and subscribe if you're enjoying the series and any of the shenanigans that we do get up to. There will be some more adventures in the weeks to come. Zeko out.